Welcome back to our countdown of top 10 stories of 2011. Before we get to our #1 story of the year, first let's recap the stories that shaped the year. Number 10 in our countdown, the ribbon was finally cut, opening the doors of the new home of the Islanders. Number 9, several years and millions of dollars later, we saw the gates of the Ordot dump closed and the gates to the Ladzon landfill opened.
Number 8, of course, in our countdown was the very tragic story of a 15-year-old girl that was raped by several men in Ningilao, with number 7 being close to 300 students that suffered food poisoning after eating breakfast provided by King's Restaurant.
Number 6 in our countdown were delays surrounding the military buildup in Congress's passage of the 2012 NDAA, which freezes funding for the Marines' relocation.
At the halfway point at number 5 on our list was the double suicide along Anthurium Lane, as Parks and Rec Ranger Nick Caudell has been accused of killing 2 women and then turning the gun on himself. Police have only said the incident appears to be domestic in nature.
Another tragedy at number 4 was the triple homicide in Harmon and Dededo between rival Chuukese gangs. It sparked concerns within the FSM community, including a visit from FSM President Emmanuel Mori to help quell the violence.
At number 3, the Japanese earthquake and eventual tsunami, which also led to the disaster at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Close to 20,000 people died from that catastrophe that happened this past March.
And at number 2, the heart-wrenching story of a 14-month-old baby girl who died from pneumonia and malnutrition. The medical examiner in his testimony to authorities said the infant was, quote, skin and bones.
And of course, that brings us to our #1 story, the top story of the year, which thousands of your fellow Islanders took part in. That's right, it is the long journey for everyone to get their tax refunds.
Number 1.
Thousands swarmed the island's 3 major shopping centers, waiting in long lines to get their long-awaited tax refund checks.
Yeah, I have 3 checks, 3 years. I have 3 checks.
9 and 10?
Yes. Yeah. Right. So I don't know. Do you want me to open and see? How much? Okay.
$779. Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
money. For the
Then we
first
see
check.
the other one.
$493. $476.
Yeah, that's it.
The long lines overwhelmed GovGuam volunteers at the distribution sites at the Micronesia Mall, GPO, and the Agana Shopping Center.
What we're trying to do is pull a little bit more resources in. We have a few more laptops coming in, I believe, from other agencies, and a lot more, manpower. So that's what we're looking at. We have to try to beef it up a little bit and see what we can do, because we definitely want to make it a very Merry Christmas for everyone.
$235 million in tax refunds and COLA from bond proceeds were released just before the holidays. The getting to that point followed an intense battle over who had a better bond plan. Senator Ben Pangalinan's $180 million bond proposal, or Governor Eddie Calvo's $343 million bond, which would have paid all past due tax refunds at one time, instead of through a series of bonds. The fight in the legislature included several special sessions, closed-door caucuses, substitute versions, and heated discussions, one of which brought Governor Calvo to the legislature unexpectedly after representatives from his administration in August were finally allowed to present their $343 million plan to lawmakers.
Can I tell you something? I'm offended. You asked our people to do an oath, and this is not even a hearing. This is not even a round table. This is a presentation.
Do you have a problem that they swore under oath?
No, I have a problem that this is not a formal event. What is this? Is this a round table? No. Is this a press conference? I guess that's what it is. It's a get-together. Is that it?
You asked for a presentation, and you're getting that, Governor.
Do you know of any state governor that decided to retire its entire deficit in 1 year?
I don't think any state has had a deficit as bad. Well, actually, I don't think there's been any state that has owed tax refunds to its people for more than a year.
A month later in September, more heated exchanges making for some of the greatest hits of the year.
I rather owe taxpayers than owe the bank.
It's not a new debt. Like explained, it's not a new vehicle that we're purchasing, or we're not, putting money to buy to build a new Department of Administration. So this one here is debt that we already have. All we're doing is moving it from the deficit to a long-term debt in our balance sheet.
In private industry, you don't pay your taxes, you go to jail. You don't pay your taxes, you pay a penalty and interest. You don't pay your taxes, your property gets a lien on it. Government, we don't pay what is due, nothing, absolutely nothing happens to government.
And I tell you, I've been there. I know how it is to be bullied. I know how the Ways and Means Chairman acts. I know how the Vice Speaker acts, and I know how the Majority Leader acts. It would take a lot of courage for those majority senators that are moderate, for them to do the right thing. And it is because of the leadership that has lost touch with the people.
To say that, you know, we are politicizing this, or that even myself being bullied by others, I do not allow anyone to bully me. That's one thing that would never happen to me, and I would stand up against anyone who tries to bully not just myself, but anyone in our community. We're not playing games here. We're not just taking recess for the sake of it. When we do that, it's because we're going to go and try to reconcile some of the differences that we have.
If these guys can't change their tone and can't connect with the people, I recommend that the people of Guam, if you want to get your tax refunds, then you got to replace these guys next election.
So Governor.
And that's our countdown of the top 10 stories of 2011. From all of us here at KUAM, be safe and happy holidays.